Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles, and today's video I want to really talk to you all about how I was able to get an immediate inquiry from sending out a newsletter. Now, I've made many videos in the past about the importance of sending out newsletters. I've made many videos in the past about the importance of being very strategic and very consistent with newsletters. However, I want to show you all what I mean. Okay, so if you are interested, if you have a business, if you are looking at strengthening your online marketing, this is the video for you. Be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and I'm going to get right into the video. So a couple days ago, I sent out a newsletter, and the newsletter was asking if you were interested in selling hair, something along those lines. Have you tested samples for your hair business? Not that exact terminology, but that's what the gist was. You know, are you interested in starting your hair business, and have you sampled the textures? So, or interested in selling hair. So when I sent that out, it wasn't even 5 minutes after that newsletter was sent out that I got an inquiry from someone asking. I'm going to show the screen, the inquiry on the screen. But I got an inquiry from someone asking, or someone stating that they were interested in selling hair. And like I said, it wasn't even 5 minutes after I sent out the newsletter. So I'm going to be talking about some tips on how to get immediate contact. Now, I do want to say this as a disclosure. When people reach out to you in regards to your business, or right after you send a newsletter, does that mean that they're going to automatically purchase because they're interested in what you sent out? No, it does not. Does that mean that they're going to, refer your business to someone that same day? No, it doesn't. But it does mean that you have someone interested in what you sent out. And so at that point, it's your responsibility to take the conversation and to figure out how you can best assist and nurture that conversation to understand exactly what that potential customer and client is interested in, exactly what you can do to benefit them, and kind of dig as deep as you can, being cautious of time, being cautious of repetitiveness, and being cautious of wanting to build a great reputation for yourself and your business. So one thing that I want to say too is that knowing that people aren't going to always purchase when they inquire, sometimes it takes the significance, or it can take the significance out of inquiries. Inquiries are very important. You'd be amazed how many people have gotten inquiries and don't take them seriously, and then at the end of the month they're like, hey, I haven't gotten a sale. It's really important to take into account the people that are reaching out and that are interested. So for example, the example that I'm showing now, the first person that reached out said, I'm interested in selling hair. I know what they're interested in, but I want to ask additional questions to make sure that I'm completely understanding. Because as the conversation went on, I had to gain information to see which way the conversation was going to go. Selling hair wasn't enough for me to say, okay, this is how we're going to sell it, without me assuming. I offer multiple options for selling hair. So I would need to find out, are you interested in selling wholesale hair extensions? Is this person interested in drop shipping? Is this person interested in sampling? Regardless of what way they were interested or are interested in selling hair, I still recommend sampling the hair textures, because that's going to give you an idea of which textures you want to offer, and also it's going to get you more familiar with the products that you're going to be selling. So the first tip that I want to go over is when you're wanting an immediate inquiry from like a newsletter that you send out, ask a question and have a direct focus point. Okay, ask a question, or I should say have a direct focus point, or both. Meaning, when you create a newsletter, you don't want your newsletter to have a lot of information but no specific point. Okay, how many times, I don't know if any of you remember getting like a newsletter, not a newsletter, but like a newspaper from like your grandparents' home or your home, and reading through it, and it was just so much information that a lot of times you went to a specific section to get the specific information you were looking for, unless you had the time to sit there and just browse through. But I remember a lot of times even my grandparents would go to a specific section of the paper because that's the information they were interested in. Well, kind of the same with like a newsletter. If you put so much information in it, there are going to be some people that will go back and look at it, perhaps, and go through the whole newsletter and dissect it. But the majority of people, I don't believe, are going to sit there and read the entire newsletter. And the reason I say that is based on studies showing the attention span when people are online, when people are reading, when people are looking at a lot of different options and choices. That's another reason why, if you've ever done any sales training, you may have heard when you give too many options, a lot of times it can help lose the sale. So you want to narrow it down. So my focus point was the business options that I offer for anyone interested in selling hair, drop shipping or wholesale. Okay. And another focus point was samples. Have you sampled the textures? When are you going to sample the textures that you want to sell? So if you are selling, let's say you have a boutique and you're selling shirts, pants, socks, jewelry, you want to make sure that you're focusing on what it is you're focusing. Like, you want to make sure that you're promoting what it is you're focusing on in that newsletter. So if you're focused on selling your jewelry that month, then you want to make sure that you're highlighting your jewelry. Maybe asking a question, which pieces are you wearing this summer? Okay, and then talking about the jewelry that you offer. And it's okay to follow up with additional newsletters because you want to be consistent with your newsletters, and then have a direct focus on something different. So then your next newsletter can have a direct focus on your socks. And then your next newsletter can have a direct focus on maybe your return policy. Maybe your buy now, pay later option. So have a direct focus, okay? The next thing that I want to go over is have a way for customers to reach out to you. So this customer did not respond to my email newsletter via email. Now, I have customers that do that, have done that. That's okay. But this customer reached out via DM. Now, would they have been able to reach out via DM if they didn't know how to contact me without doing a lot of research? Maybe not. But it's important, if you can, to have your social media links or your primary social media link somewhere in your newsletter. I have mine at the bottom, or a website link. And then on your website, a way or information on how they can connect to your social media so that they know how to reach out to you. Give people the way to get in contact with you. How many times have you heard about something or saw something that you really wanted, but you didn't know how to get it? Maybe you heard someone talking about, I know for me, I've heard people talking about certain food, and I'll be like, okay, that sounds great. Like, I really want to try it. And I wouldn't know where to get the food from. I would go on Google, wouldn't see anything that popped up with that kind of food near me. For example, it's African fufu. I really, really want to try that. Like, I really do. And the funny thing is, when I was growing up, my friend would always eat it. Always. Her grandmother ate it. Her grandmother made it. Her mom made it. And I never thought twice about it. But when it started to become popular on social media, I was like, wow, I really want to try that. Like, I really want to see what it tastes like, right? So I started Googling different places that could offer that type of food. And all the places that I found were like at least an hour away from me. They weren't in this city. So I was like, man. But the point is, it was something that I wanted, but I didn't know where to go. Versus something that I want, and then I'm able to easily find out where this is and how to locate it. That's why, another reason why it's really important to make sure that you are searchable online, okay, that you pop up. So sometimes you might want to pop up virgin hair if you sell hair extensions in my area, or in your, put your city name there. And that way you can see what comes up. Do you come up? Are you a reputable source? Can people find you if they're wanting to order from you? A lot of times people aren't ordering because they don't know about you or where to order from. When I had my salon, a lot of times I would have to go back. I wouldn't have to, but I chose to go on Google and make sure that my Google listing was still active, because I wanted people to be able to find directions and to know my hours of operation and to know where I was located and what services I offered if they were interested in partaking. The last thing I would want is for someone to be interested in getting some of my services done, but not know how to contact me or not know how to reach the salon, right? So that's the second tip. Okay, make sure that your people, customers, clients, potential customers and clients know how to reach you, how to contact you if they have a question, if they want to answer your question. If you ask someone, hey, are you interested in selling hair, and they don't have a way to respond to you, then it's kind of like, what was the purpose of asking a question when they don't have a way to respond? Okay, the next thing that I want to go over is make sure that when you send out your email, you are putting some type of literature in there, okay? Not just pictures, but some type of wording, some type of information. So yes, I put, are you interested in selling hair? But in the body of the email, there's additional information. I'm not saying that you have to write a whole novel. I'm not saying that you have to write even a paragraph or two. But put information in there that's going to give people more information, or at least have them interested or asking additional questions or thinking questions to themselves, to the point that they're going to reach out or go to your website. Because ultimately, when you send out a newsletter, you want your customers and clients to either reach out to you via DM or respond to the email, or you want them to go on that website and purchase, or go on the website and at least browse, maybe even go to your chat option on the website. But it all starts with how you position your wording, your pictures, and how inviting that email looks. I also want to throw this out there. A lot of people feel like because they don't have new pictures, they can't send out newsletters. I've been using the same pictures for years. I do want to get my pictures updated. I probably am going to get my pictures updated in a little while. However, I still use what I have and it still works. A lot of times people like the fact of having a familiar business to refer to. They like the fact of knowing that this is the company that they've gone to, and that you've been this is the same owner, they've done business with you. People like familiarity. Just think about it. If you go back home to your favorite spot, more than likely, like your favorite eating spot, and let's say it's a mom and pop spot, more than likely you're gonna like going to that older feel. Like for me, if I like a place and I'm hooked on it and I know where it's at, let's say I like a place that's out of town and I know what it looks like, even if it looks like a older building and it's a mom and pop restaurant, I'm still going to appreciate them having the same look, because when I come back, it's going to make it easier for me to identify, and it's going to feel more familiar to me versus a restaurant that's constantly doing renovations. Now, I'm not saying that I won't eat at the restaurant because they're doing renovations if it's the same restaurant with improved food or the same food, or, I'll probably still eat there. However, I would appreciate them still having the same type of look and feel, just because I'm familiar with it, So that's something else to consider. Another thing to consider is assume people only know what you tell them. Assume people only are going to be led to where you direct them. If that's the case, then assume that if you're not talking about your business, then no one knows about your business. Assume that if you're not leading people to your business, so like with your marketing, constantly sending out email mailers, making sure that you're posting, reaching out to people, and making a conscious choice to market your business, then assume that your business isn't being marketed. Assume that no one's being directed to your business. There are a lot of people daily looking for the product that you sell, but your job is to find out how they can find you, how you can become more visible. And then once you're visible, how you can become their number one choice. So all these other companies that are visible, why would they purchase from you? And you really sometimes have to sit down and reevaluate that constantly. Okay, well, they probably wouldn't purchase from me because of this. So if you think that, then you want to go back and reevaluate. Okay, so I'm thinking they won't purchase from me because I don't offer quality hair. Okay, well, you want to make sure that you're offering quality hair. If it's something like, hey, I don't think that they'll purchase from me because I don't get support in my city, then you want to make sure that you're broadening out your reach. So where else can you offer your hair extensions? Now we have online. Online is accessible to the majority of us. We don't have to stick to the certain city we're in when we're looking at selling products. We can go outside of the city. So just asking yourself, figuring out exactly why you're not marketing. What are you discouraged about? What aren't you confident about? And figuring a way to add that confidence in your business and to fix the solutions that are holding you back, or fix the problems that are holding you back. That's going to help as well. So I really wanted to just come on here and give you all some encouragement, as well as some tips on how to get immediate contact or immediate inquiries from your email mailers. Now, once you get the email mailers, how you handle those interactions, that's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother strategy. Like I said, not everyone that reaches out to you is going to purchase, and you have to know that immediately. How I was always told in sales, you're probably going to get more no's than you are yeses, and that has been true. Yes, people say yes, but a lot of people may say, I'll think about it, or okay, great, I'll come back, and they may not purchase, and that's okay. Look at it as practice working with people. Look at it as practice speaking about your business, and look at them as seeds that you're planting. So they may come back. I've had customers that have said no, and their no ended up being a not right now, because they ended up purchasing. Some of them ended up purchasing at the end of the day. Some of them purchased the next day. Some of them purchased a couple months from the interaction that we had. So it just depends. But I look at every interaction as a potential relationship and an opportunity for me to provide what it is they're looking for. So keep in mind that getting people interested, having that immediate inquiry is really important. It's going to help build your business, and you also want to take advantage of the time. If someone's interested right now is the time that you want to make sure that you're engaging with them if you can. Now, of course, it's important to structure your day. It's important to have the right expectation on your website. If you're offering your products online, explaining when you are available and when they can expect a return. And I'm not saying you have to jump at every inquiry, but I am saying that I once learned that when customers are interested, it's the best time to engage in conversation. And that's why the immediate contact after the email, the marketing email, was so important to me, because that is a great window where you have a higher probability of making that sale. When I used to work in the call center, we would have people that called in, and if I got them off the phone, then their chance of them actually making that purchase or going along with their order would be decreased, just based on the fact that I'm letting time get in the way. So you still, you don't want to rush anyone. You don't want anyone to feel pressured. You don't want anyone to necessarily buy strictly off of impulse, but you do want to take advantage of the moment. The moment is there is essence, and the key of there is essence in the moment. There is power in the moment. Okay, so that's my video. Those are my tips. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them down below. I do want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.